Ladies and gentlemen, the English language has been lying to you. We've all heard the words useful and useless. But do we actually know what they really mean? I have this very time-consuming hobby of clicking the little boxes that appear after doing a Google search. They're called the People Also Ask column. And the more you click, the more off-topic from the original search they get. One time, I remember I searched up something about linear equations, then ended up with, does Elon Musk have autism? And by the way, the answer is yes. And at the time, I thought that this was a completely useless hobby. But then, as time went on, I realized that the few moments I had spent clicking on boxes on the internet had managed to change my entire perspective on autism. Wasting time on the internet is considered useless. But knowing enough about neurodiversity to understand it and respect it is considered useful. And this got me thinking, what if the way we currently perceive usefulness is wrong? For example, wouldn't you agree that being broke, close to homeless, and a single mother is one of the most useless parts of anyone's life? J.K. Rowling certainly thought it was. As she once said in an interview, by every usual standard, I was the biggest failure I knew. But it was this part of J.K. Rowling's life, when she was broke and homeless, that allowed her to create her biggest success, Harry Potter. A normal person living a useful life with a job can't afford to give up that job in order to write full-time. But J.K. Rowling, because she was in this situation, was able to give her undivided attention to Harry Potter. But this moment did more than just give her the time to write. It created the foundation for her to place Harry Potter upon. Harry Potter is a story of loss, emotional struggle, and learning to overcome those struggles. Sound familiar? That's because this is exactly what J.K. Rowling went through in her most difficult times. By going through hardship herself, J.K. Rowling was able to create a more authentic and relatable story with Harry Potter. This moment wasn't something she had to overcome in order to succeed. It was something that created her success. And right now, in this very room, there are people who are giving up things that they enjoy and are passionate about in order to do something a bit more useful. It can be as small as ignoring a hobby for a while to do homework, or it could be something bigger, like wrestling with yourself to find a career path that brings more money or has a higher success rate, while your true passion lies with something else. Especially here in South Korea, where the culture is so focused on academics and studying, it can be easy to forget about you and be swept away by everyone else's definitions of what's useful. But this doesn't have to be the case. Stories like those of J.K. Rowling don't have to remain as just stories. Instead, by understanding what's actually useful, we ourselves can live out the same kinds of successes. So, what is actually useful? Well, Cambridge Dictionary defines it as something that achieves a purpose, while society often defines it as something that brings money or success. However, I would like to disagree with both of these definitions. For me, usefulness is a matter of perspective. What was originally considered useless can become useful depending on how you respond to it and how you choose to think of it. But the important part here isn't the definition itself, but the fact that it's something I have found for myself, using my own experiences, my own opinions. And it's something that everyone else is allowed to challenge and question. Just like the official definition should be challenged and questioned as well. Because usefulness is what you make of it. Finding what matters to you, helps you, and fits you is the most useful thing you can do.